Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. For today's video, we're going to be doing a full face of nothing new. With all the new makeup I've been trying out recently, I felt like it was time to do one of these, so I really dug in deep to my collection this morning. I found some real gems hiding out in the back of my drawers and my bins. So today we're going to put them all to the test and see what we can come up with. So I hope that you guys are excited about it. Before we jump into it, as always, I want to welcome any new visitors to my channel. Hope that you enjoyed this one. If you do, please be sure to give it a thumbs up and of course, subscribe. And now let's get into it. Alright you guys, so let's get started. I do have a good mix here of products from affordable and drugstore to high-end, moderately old, all the way to quite old. But to kick things off, we're going to go in with this primer right here. This is from Touch in Soul. I actually got this in a BoxyCharm a while ago. It's probably been over a year, which I know many of you will say, throw that thing away, Mandy. Why are you using liquid makeup that's over a year old? But it smells fine. It works fine. This is the Touch in Soul No Pore Blum Primer Essence. It's more of like a watery kind of liquid. Actually, I don't even know what this does. In fact, I threw away the box, so I don't even know what's inside of it anymore, nor do I know where you can get this, but it does a really good job of just softening up your skin. It reminds me of an even more kind of watery version of the Smashbox Primerizer or the Catrice Hydro Primer, and it does smell really nice. Okay, I forgot to pull my hair up, which I know drives some of you absolutely crazy, and I will admit it drives me crazy when I'm editing and I forget something like that, or when I have like a hair that's kind of astray, which is almost all the time. Now let's jump into a bit of foundation. Today I'm going to take the Sephora 10-Hour Wear Perfection Foundation. It's also been a while since I have used this thing, and this is also one that's getting a little bit older. I think it is also over a year old. That's going to be a theme in this video. And I'm a little bit worried this is going to be very light on me. We're just going to go with it and hopefully we can make it work. So that's just one pump right there. This is a good kind of satiny finish foundation. Has a really good solid medium / full coverage. I'd say it's almost full coverage. You could probably build it up to full coverage, but it is a thicker foundation. I don't usually like to build up coverage in thicker foundations because I find that they can get a little bit cakey. And I just realized that I did laundry this morning and I washed all of the makeup rags that I have down here. So I don't have anything to like wipe my dirty hands on other than, we'll just use one of these. Whisper. I hate to use my like name brand cotton pads for stuff like this. Any of you guys picky about like what you use the good cotton for and what you use like the Equate brand? Oh Mandy, you are ridiculous. Something my husband often makes fun of me for, because I like when he goes grocery shopping for me, if he goes to pick something up, there's certain things that I go name brand, and then there's certain things that I am always all about going store brand just to save a couple of cents. So when they come home with the name brand Honey Nut Cheerios, I have to kind of hold back my subtle annoyance over the fact that they wasted $1.25 in my mind, but they did do me a favor by going to the store for me, so I have to try and rein it in, not let them know that I'm annoyed, gently tell them when we do Honey Nut Cheerios we go generic. Perhaps not the shredded wheat, but Honey Nut Cheerios, yes. Alright, let's move on to concealer. This is the Too Faced Born This Way concealer. Love this thing. I would love to use this thing up. I know I'm probably only, I might be halfway done with this. I think I've had it for probably, I want to say I got this at the end of the year, last year. So this is another thing that I need to use up. It is a liquid, so I know they can expire, but mine still smells fine. Doesn't seem to break me out, and it is one of my very, very favorites. But I would feel very proud of myself if I was actually able to use this thing up and repurchase it. I would happily repurchase this concealer. All right, now I'm going to add a little bit of primer. This is from Lorac. This actually came in a little kit that I found at TJ Maxx. It came with their original Lorac Pro palette for $9.99. I found such a steal on those. I actually did a video on them and I had some issues with my memory card. So I've had a couple of videos, including my Alter Ego 7 Looks videos that I kind of had to scrap, and I just haven't had a chance to go back and refilm them. But I was planning to do a video on these 3 palettes. I found them each for $9.99 at TJ Maxx. I don't know if you guys have seen these floating around during the holidays if you've gone to a TJ Maxx or a Marshall's, but I was super excited about it because that is such a great deal for those palettes. But when I got home, right after I filmed the video using those, I checked online and it looks like they might be phasing those palettes out. When I checked, they were not in stock on the Ulta website anymore. And even on the Lorac website, I think they were on sale. So it kind of seemed like they were phasing them out. I did notice that during Black Friday, they brought those palettes back to Ulta for a sale price. I do really like them, and I have some thoughts on this specific formula. So if you guys are still interested and maybe seeing me pull these into a video, let me know. By the way, I just added a little bit of my Rimmel powder to my eyelids. Okay, let's go into the rest of the face first. And for that, today I grabbed out the Smashbox Cali Contour Kit. It's been a while since I've used this one. I mostly wanted to see, now that I have my Benefit one that I've just been thrilled with lately, I've been using that thing constantly lately. I want to see what I think about this one now that I have the Benefit one, if maybe I prefer one over the other. I will already say this one is much more powdery, and that is something that I don't really like with my face palettes. I don't like, actually let me rephrase that. I prefer face powders that are really firmly pressed, that you really can kind of get your brush in there and load it up and really kind of evenly distribute it onto your brush, rather than something that's really soft that you can only like barely tap into, like this one. This one is quite powdery. But that said, the powder itself really blends nicely, so I do still like it, but I just kind of wish they were a little bit more firmly pressed. And this brush right here is an Aesthetica brush that came in a BoxyCharm long time ago. All right, now we're gonna add a little bit of highlight. I'm just gonna take this highlighter right here. I like this highlight. I definitely don't like it as much as the cookie highlight. It is more subtle, so maybe if the cookie highlight is a little bit too strong for you, if you've tried it, or if you haven't tried it and you know you like a more subtle highlight, maybe this palette in general would be a better option for you. That said, the pan size is significantly smaller, but it's a decent highlight. I like something that's a little bit more blinding. All right, so for blush, I actually don't want to use the blush in here. I want to use this one instead. This is the Juicy Pang Water Blusher in the shade CR01. This is a very kind of orange toned blush. Let me just swatch it for you guys right there. I mean, this is quite orange. I do really like it though. I think with the right eye look, which I am doing something that's a little bit kind of bronzy and warm today, so I think this will go well with the eye look that we'll be doing. So I'm just going to take a little swipe of this on the back of my hand. And I'm going to take my Luxie Duo Fiber powder brush, and I'm just going to start stippling that onto my cheeks. The smell of these. How many of you guys that have tried the Juicy Pang blushes love the smell of them? They have the prettiest, subtle, soft, pleasant scent. I wish this was a perfume actually, or like a body lotion. I would love to smell like this. What I love about this blush too is if it looks a little bit strongly pigmented at first, you really can just keep stippling, or you can take the sponge that you use maybe for your concealer or foundation and just kind of tap it around the edges, and it will really just kind of press the product into your cheeks and then lift any excess product that maybe you don't need or want. And it really just kind of makes it look really blended and natural. Let's kind of do the same on this cheek. Oh, the texture of these is just so pretty. Every time I use something else and enjoy using something else, but then I come back to these, I'm always astounded at how pretty these look on your cheeks. Alrighty, let's move on to the eyes. Well, actually, let's first do eyebrows. For my eyebrows today, I have a product that I really have been enjoying lately. I've had this for a while. It has now been discontinued. This is from the brand CYO. I got this at Walgreens before CYO kind of went out of business. Did they go out of business? I think they did. Or they at least stopped selling them in Walgreens, I believe. But this is their brow and lash gel. It's very liquidy. It has a very large brush. As you can see, it is a little bit messy to work with, but I really love the way this makes my eyebrows look. It gives them this very like upright, dark, wet looking kind of feathery look that I just really love. Kind of like a really nice caterpillar brow. I don't know if I'm making sense. Hopefully you guys will be able to see what I'm talking about as I use it. So initially I'm just going to brush my brows up using just a random spoolie. And then I'm going to take the wand and I'm just going to start running this through my brows. This can get a little bit wet and a little bit messy, and I sometimes have to do a little bit of cleanup on the top, but I kind of like that it's more liquidy than like a ColourPop or Benefit brow gel. Those are a little bit more mousse-like or dry and kind of gel-like, whereas this is like a true liquid. But sometimes I get a little too much and then things get really, really dark. Crap, I hope I didn't just myth on camera and I can't fix it. Okay, I really screwed up right here. Well, I might be kind of butchering my eyebrows today. I actually do like this stuff, but it is a little tricky to work with, which I guess doesn't matter that much because you guys can't get your hands on this thing anymore anyways. But there are times when I use this that it just really quickly makes my brows look really nice and shapely. But if you get too much product in, things can get dark very, very fast. And ironically, this is the shade Fair, which I'm like, I mean, look at this, you guys. Really? That's a fair shade? That's pretty dark. Once again. Alright guys, that's probably as good as my brows are going to get. I had a little bit of a mishap with this brow right here, so it might be a little bit dark in the outer corner. Let's just kind of ignore that and move on to the eyes. So for my eyeshadow today, I pulled out this thing right here. This is from Persona Cosmetics. It's one of their Color Theory eyeshadow palettes. This one is their copper palette. They also have a pink one, I believe. Do they still have these on their website? They actually sent this palette to me back when I did a 7 Looks video with their Identity 2 palette. Several months after I did that video, they contacted me offering to send me a couple of things, and this is one of the things that I requested, and I have yet to use it on camera for you guys, which I feel kind of bad about. I have used this a few times myself, and it is every bit as good as their traditional eyeshadow palettes, which you guys might know are some of my very, very favorites. So we're going to use this today. I'm not quite sure if I want to use this copper on my lid or if I want to use this right here. This is from Sydney Grace. This is one of their liquid eyeshadows in the shade Boardwalk. Let me swatch this for you guys. I would say it's kind of like a rose gold. So let's swatch both of these shimmers. I just want to see. Oh yeah, that'll work. Okay, so there we have it right there. That is, oh, look at that, guys. That is beautiful. And then let's go ahead and swatch the copper shade. I actually think these might go really nice together, don't you think? Okay, maybe we'll use them both. Like maybe we'll use this on the outer corner and then tap this kind of overlapping over the top. Oh, I have a piece of glitter on my head. Very excited. I think that's going to be super, super pretty. All right, so let's jump in first by going into this shade right here. This is the light brown. Coincidentally, it is called light brown. And I'm taking that on my Morphe M504 brush. Let me just, a little bit of creasing on my lid right there. I'm just going to run this up kind of above my crease. I really hope Persona comes out with another eyeshadow palette this year. I'd love to see them come out, oh, I don't know actually. I was gonna say with something that like is a little bit with a lot of greens or a lot of purples in it. Almost something maybe monochromatic sort of. Maybe a nice cool tone palette would be fun. I don't know. So I'd love to know for those of you that celebrate Christmas or celebrate the holidays, how, especially for those of you that have kids, how's Christmas shopping going for you guys? Oh man. Mine's not going so well. If you have older children, I'm telling you guys, this year has been like, it's made it very clear to me how as your kids get older, it really does make Christmas harder and a little bit less fun. I mean, I know it's not about me, but there's something about getting gifts for younger children that you know are going to enjoy anything that you get them. It's so much fun. There's just something kind of magical about it. And then as your kids get older, their Christmas lists get not just more expensive, but they get very, very specific. Like there are very specific things that they really want for Christmas. And there's, me and my husband were talking about it last night actually. We were ordering some stuff or looking at some things that they had requested and we're like, man, this just feels like a business transaction. Like what happened to the days when you could buy them anything? And then as we're looking for Charlie, so if you don't know, I have 3 older boys. They are 10, 14, and 17, and then I have a 3-year-old girl. So I mean, I have 2 completely different camps when it comes to like the type of presents that we're buying. So my older kids, it's all about like clothes and shoes and electronics, expensive stuff. And then Charlie, I could buy her a $5 PJ Masks action figure and she would just be so, so excited about it. So thought about telling my husband, you buy presents for the boys, I'll take Charlie. But I couldn't fool him. He'd know that he was getting the raw end of that deal. So anyways, I don't mean to complain. I really do love this time of year. I love getting things ready for Christmas, trying to make it special for all of my kids, even the older ones. But there is just something about that like little bit of magic that's lost as your kids get older and they start to, you know, figure things out, if you know what I'm talking about. All right, so that took forever just with the transition shade. I do want to go in with just a little bit of this orange right here. So I'm going to take that on my Rephr number 14 brush. I'm going to dip just a little bit into that color right there. This is such a pretty shade. It's a really nice orange that has a very like rusty, let me just swatch it for you guys so you can kind of see what I'm talking about. It's just a really nice coppery orange. I mean, it's called Brick. That's what it is. It's a brick colored shade. Oh, Mandy, just use the shadow. Don't explain because you just kind of talk yourself into a corner. So I'm just taking a little bit of what's left on my brush and running that kind of underneath my lower lash line. Let's do something really like smoky and strong. Why not? I do have somewhere to go. I have to go pick my daughter up, but it's at my friend's house. She knows I do makeup videos. She won't mind. This is looking pretty intense. All right, hopefully this comes together. Once we have mascara and stuff on, I think it will. So I'm just taking my M504 brush. Nothing else is on here. I'm just kind of running this over the orange I put down just to really kind of blow that out, blend it out. I don't want it like super defined. I just want it kind of widespread. All right, so I zoomed you guys in just a little bit so you could see some of the detail, especially when we get to the shimmers. I first want to go in with a little bit of this dark brown and just add a tiny bit of depth to my outer corner here. I'm just kind of smudging this. I'm not really smudging it, I'm just kind of placing it right along the outer edge of my upper lash line. Kind of swirling it underneath just a little bit. Okay, now let's add a little bit of this copper shimmer right here. It's the shade Copper. I'm just going to take a little bit on my ring finger, and I'm just going to tap this from the center of my lid almost to the outer corner. I want to leave this corner blank where I put that deep matte shade, but I'm just basically putting this like finger widths wise just right there on the outer part of my lid, and then we'll blend out that edge in a second here. I'm just going to take this same brush, nothing else on it, just feathering over this outer edge and also along this inner edge right here. I don't want to knock the shimmer off, I just want to blend out that line right there. Alright, now I'm going to go in with the Sydney Grace shadow. I think I've used this only once. It is beautiful. This is the kind of thing, like these liquid shadows and potted cream shadows, I often forget to use these. I don't know why. And I'm pretty sure there's a specific way you're supposed to use them. I'm just going to kind of tap this on the back of my hand. I just put a dot right there, and then I'm just going to tap it on the inner part of my lid. I know there's, on their website, they have a very specific recommendation for how you're supposed to use these to get the best or the most impact out of them. I probably should have read that before I did this video, but we're just going to kind of wing it. I mean, I think it will work out. So far that's going on really, really well. That is so pretty. Look how pretty that shine is. Oh, that goes beautifully with that orange. I feel like this is a great shade. It would go with pinks or with more kind of warm orangey or brown tones. All right, now the other side. Again, I'm just taking a tiny kind of pinhead size amount and I'm just tapping it on this inner corner right here. They do dry not super quickly, but I mean you have enough time to get them down, but they do dry pretty quick. And I'm pretty sure once these dry, they do not budge. All right, that is looking great. I do just want to add a little bit of this champagne shade right here to my inner corner, and for that I'm going to take my Rephr number 3 brush and add just a touch of this right to the tear duct. Alright guys, so that's good for the eyeshadow. I do have an eyeliner that I completely forgot about, and this is one of my favorites. It's the LA Girl Ultimate Eye Intense Auto Liner. I love this liner. I had an old one that dried up. I bought a backup a long time ago, but I never actually opened it until today. I found this thing sitting in actually the wrong bin. It was sitting with behind all my eyeliners with kind of all my face brushes, so I had completely forgotten about it. And it's a nice, fresh, newly opened, super creamy, dark brown liner. This one is a little bit more warm than my Wet n Wild. Let me just show you guys how these two compare. So there is the Wet n Wild Simma Brown. Now you can see this is more of like a black brown. This is more of a true chocolatey warm brown. It still is nice and deep, but if you like something a little bit more warm, this one is really nice. It also wears a little bit better. So the Wet n Wild one, I mean, it wears well on me. It doesn't smudge or anything, but this one it sets down. Doesn't fade off throughout the day. The Wet n Wild, I think if you had watery eyes, definitely could fade on you. I don't have an issue with it, but I know it's not formulated to be a long-wearing liner, whereas this one is. I already kind of messed up that line a little bit, so I'm just doing a little small or medium-sized wing. Tended to do a small wing, but you know how that goes sometimes. Let's add a little bit to the lower waterline as well. Kind of like 2/3 of the way in. All right, I think that's good. I'm going to add a little bit of mascara. Today I am pulling out my Essence Volume Stylist, one of my old favorites. I'm going to add a couple of coats of this, then I will zoom you guys out. We will finish off with the lips and we will be done. All right, guys, so here are the finished eyes. Now let's move on to the lips. And I first off have an old favorite lip liner that I have not used for a while. It is the Essence 8-Hour Lip Liner in the shade Because Duh. If you guys have been with me for a while, you will know how much I love this lip liner. It is a great one. I wish they had a better shade range and a more accurate shade range online. It's very hard. I think Essence lip products especially are really hard to determine what their shades are actually going to be when you're looking online. Their packaging and swatches aren't always representative of what the actual shades will be. But I do really love this one. It is a good nude, slightly warmer nude lip liner. Hopefully it'll go well with this look today. And it is pretty budge proof. I wouldn't say it's quite as good as the Charlotte Tilbury, but it's pretty close. I would say it's better than the Milani. The Milani ones, I love the formula of those because they're so easy to use and their colors are so good. But this one, I think stays a little bit better. All right, now for lipstick, I'm going to take this right here. This is the Maybelline Daringly Nude lipstick. Let me just swatch it for you guys right here. It's just a very nude, kind of peachy pink. Hopefully it's warm enough. I've used this one for a while. It is a matte. Let's add a little bit of gloss. I'm going to take my NYX Butter Gloss. This one is in the shade Praline, I believe. Yes, this is a newer shade to me. I just picked this up this fall. It is a little bit deeper, but it's not super deep once you put it on your lips. There it is right there. I feel like this will go with the rest of my look. I feel like I overlined the bottom of my lip too much. Let's clean that up just a little bit right there. Alright, and last but not least, I have some setting spray. I'm taking my Catrice Dewy Glow Fixing Spray. Add just a little bit of that. Oh, hold on. It's been a while. Alright guys, here we have the finished look. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this. Very happy with everything I tried out today. I think my foundation is a little bit too light, but that's alright. I'm pretty sure in a month this foundation will match me perfectly, but I do really love the formula of this one. I had forgotten how much I do like this one. But a lot of good stuff in here today. I'm excited to pull them to the forefront so I can get more use out of these forgotten products. Let me know if you guys have any thoughts on any of these, or even better, if you guys have some old favorites that you would like to see me use in my upcoming full month of nothing new. Please leave those suggestions down below, and I will try to pull some of those into some future videos. But I hope you guys enjoyed this one. Thank you guys so much for stopping by. I hope that you guys are doing well and enjoying your holiday preparations. I am very excited. This Saturday we're actually headed to the mountains to cut down our Christmas tree. We do it every year. And I am planning to film a little vlog that will go up in a couple of weeks for you guys. So it should be a lot of fun. Lots of fun makeup videos coming up as well. So make sure that you are subscribed, that you have your notifications turned on. But that's all I have for you guys today. Thank you guys again, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye. Every time I wear these earrings, I think of The Emperor's New Groove. You guys remember that movie? I'm sorry, you've thrown off the Emperor's Groove. It's a good one. I was gonna use this today. Bone dry. That's what happens when you keep something for a year, Mandy. It usually dries out.